Three, two, one, go. So Nikita, the reason I wanted to have a discussion with you on this location in front of the Rudra gate, because of a specific reason. Because if we look at the Rudra gate, the gate in behind us, it's very ironical. Because on one hand we have the ramps, both ramps, the best ramps. Two ramps are on either side of the gate, but on the other hand, the gate itself is chained by a lock and chain, so it becomes inaccessible for a person with disability to access the gate and make use of it. So that's very ironical, I feel, and that's why I've chosen to talk about and explore about disability in the college space in front of this gate itself. And I would like to speak on like disability itself, the notion of disability. I think disability, like gender, race, is a socio-political construct, in the sense that each one of us, we are born with our own natural endowments. But those endowments, if we are not able to access a certain space or resource because of those endowments, physical endowments, it is because of a certain socio-political repression of this community or the society, or here in this case the college or itself. Because even in this case also, Rudra gate, you are able to go through the gate, but due to the chain, you are not able to access it. So you are being repressed by the whoever is up there in the power. You are being repressed, and therefore you are classified as disabled. When in actuality you are also able to go through it. So I would like to make clear of that. So just starting off, how accessible is the St. Stephen's College for you as a PWD student in the college itself?
Okay, so if I could rate it on the basis of percentage, it would be, only considering the ground floor stuff, it is around 70 to 75%. And what is making it, what is lowering the percentage is that the facilities that were made right from the beginning, considering the needs of the PWD candidates, they had taken efforts to make it, but there is no system to get the feedback, is it the facilities that were from the beginning, is it really helping it now as well, or they need any sort of repair or any sort of improvement or any sort of maintenance. There's no feedback system to tell them. We can see the library thing. The ground floor and the upper floor is not accessible. There are no ramps and no other way to access it if I wish to explore that. Secondly, all the ramps around except the ramp here, they lack the grip thing, because of which it is very obvious that whatever wheelchair or walker we are using to come down using that, it would just slip away. And most of these slopes out there are mostly very steep. The one in front of the JCR, it's very risky. The one in front of the assembly corridor, that one is also very risky. And the one after the mess corridor, there is a way to get down, and it is little difficult there as well. Secondly, the path in the science block, It is made up of bricks that is worn out, and it is not very accessible. Like the walker or the wheelchair is very obvious to get stuck there. Like there are many other portions as well, like the gym, the slope of the gym is risky as well, very steep, and like the equipments are there that can be used, but they are disabled to me. I'm not able to access them since they are on the second floor or third floor, and they don't have ramps or anything as well, so that, or elevators, so that it could have been made accessible for me.
And my second question, I want to explore how this physical inaccessibility affects your, let's say, social inaccessibility or acceptance, and how this further affects your mental health, or how it gives you like mental illness, and how this transitions to it. Like, can you tell us something more on this?
Like since it is not completely accessible, I continuously need to take help from someone. I need to like ask help from someone. It is creating a dependence on the other person, and like it makes me feel that like if I have a friend, I would always need their help to move across the college, because the college has been limited. Like it is not like because I need to depend on my friends, that is making me feel that I am the receiver there, and I would be the one who is continuously needing help, and I'm not able to reciprocate it. That is adding up, and that is adding up to a guilt inside me. So and because it is not equal on both the sides, it sort of makes it difficult for me to have good friendships around the campus. Like they want to help, and I am the one continuously needing help, so that causes a little bit of hesitation in me. And like the separation in the mess, like we have a different bench for the PWD candidates, and other students aren't allowed to sit there, and only the PWD people are allowed. So they are creating a boundary, although we know that is for making it like giving us facilities, but it is limiting our social life there. And I think because of that, I think mess is a very good place to like make friends there, because we all accumulate there with purpose of like eating, and like we have it in families as well, we get together. So I think that's a limiting thing in our college life, and because of that like I'm missing,
like I think like the physical inaccessibility leads to social isolation in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I'm not able to make quite good like friends around the campus, and even if I do make, that is like that makes me feel that I'm just making friends so that I get help. That is like that continuously hits my mind whenever someone helps me. So that is one of the reasons that is causing social isolation.
Yeah, and like how social isolation inevitably leads to like mental illness, depression, anxiety.
The long-term effects of this social isolation would result to that, like anxiety. I would be like limiting my communication, and like ultimately that would lead to social anxiety.
In a way, it's like societies repressing PWD's communication or their expression. Because they're not able to freely interact with other people their life, but they're repressed or restricted by people in power.
Like, although their intentions
due to efficiency, like that.
Although their intentions is to make it more feasible for us, to give us more facilities, that we don't need to walk to the mess and get the food by ourselves or other stuff. But the facilities that we are getting is that it is like we are paying for that, or we are paying that like we are getting secluded from other people.
And like how I'm just trying to think like the social isolation that due to physical inaccessibility, it leads to social isolation, and how social isolation leads to, let's say, it affects your mental health.
Yeah, anxiety.
Yeah, and like I'm just trying to think in the next point, like how trying to solve that resulting mental illness through counseling or medicines or therapy or whatnot.
Yeah,
it doesn't really solve the problem, because the root of the problem is the physical inaccessibility, because you are not able to freely move around where you want, and due to that you are dependent on your friends, and you feel bad also at the same time. You feel there's like a sense of guilt also.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You feel social isolation due to that, and then it affects your mental health. But trying to solve that mental health through medicines or counseling.
Yeah, exactly. They're just acting on the symptoms. They're working on the symptoms, but not on the root of the problem, by making it more accessible and making it more independent.
And like in the next point, I want to explore on like the communication between the PWD community in the college and the administration. And or is there a society to do that, or some kind of platform do you guys have, or can you please tell us?
Yeah, sure. Like, it is the reason for inaccessibility of the entire campus is that there is a lack of communication between the administration and us. Like, there's nobody to tell them the feedback, that continuous feedback, that this needs improvement and that needs improvement. Although we have a society here, the enabling unit, that aims to like serve the needs of the PWD people, but the needs that it fulfills is at the immediate needs, like giving temporary solutions. Like, I need help to cross the gate, they'll help me cross the gate, but instead they should help me like getting the chain removed. That should be the solution. So I think that they just aim to give temporary help, although they want to help, but the thing is that there are hardly any members in the administrative level of the enabling unit, which is why there's a lack of voice from our side. So there's nobody to present what we think should be the solution on the table. So because of that, like, they are the abled people deciding what we need. So I think that's a boundary for, like, that is what limiting it. Or if enabling unit would have functioned in a very proper way, like including the PWD candidates in the administrative level and full and giving and giving sustainable solutions, I think that gap that lies between the administration and the common people, that would have been fulfilled by enabling unit.
And I want to also explore on the common perception that we as a society have of a person with disability and a so-called normal person. So normally we like to think of a disabled person as a person who needs help, like maybe through a wheelchair, or maybe through braille, or maybe through walker, stick, stuff like that. And we like to think that so-called normal people are independent people who can survive and do anything on their own. So we have these two binaries in a way, but I don't think this is an authentic or true binary. This is a pseudo binary, I feel, because it's very problematic to have this conception, because on one hand, the moment we think that normal person are people who are independent, the assumption is that we think that those normal people will always be, that category will be static, in the sense that we must be aware that even so-called normal people can become person with disabilities someday. So it's fluid. The boundary is very fluid, fluidity between them. And also the problematic thing about this assumption is that there is no normal people at all. The truth is that we all need help at one point or another. Let's look at me as an able person. Society thinks that like I am normal person, but clearly I'm not. Look at my glasses. I cannot see without my glasses. I cannot read what is there without my glasses. It's the same thing using like a wheelchair also.
Yeah.
And like look at our chapel. Like I cannot walk under the Delhi hot summer sun. No, like without the chapel.
Yeah.
I need help from a chapel. So we are not independent at all. Like even normal people are not independent at all. No one is independent, and I feel we all need help. We need to accept this, and only through this we make any progress. I feel like that.
Yeah.
And I would like to end our discussion, introductory discussion, with another. We started with an irony, and like I wanted to end with an irony of how we as a person, as an individual, at some level we don't want to be helped.
Yes, nobody wants to be helped, but it's that we need it.
But on another level, the truth is that we also need help.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of like an irony there again.
Yeah.
Like how do you experience this, like on your day-to-day life?
Yeah, like of course, like moving around the campus, of course I would not want anybody to help me, or like I don't want to be helped, or like it's not that the things that I'm asking for, it's not that I really want them, like, but it is something that I need the chain to be opened, I need the slopes to be improved so that I can access the entire campus. It's not something like I want that, like even if it's not that I can access the slope very easily, and even after that I'm asking for improvements. It is that it is something I need. Of course I would not want to bother people without anything, like without any reason, but it is something that I need. So,
and I think that's our main point. Like just to conclude, like on one level we would like to live an independent life, each one of us, like even you as a person with disability, you would like to rather live in a society where you can cross the Rudra gate by your own self. But on another level, we all need each other. We are all interdependent on each other. So even us so-called normal people, we need help. Even though we like to think that we are independent and we don't need anyone's help, but the truth is that we need help and we are interdependent on each other. So yeah.
So, स्टोरी और नॉवेल्स का सेक्शन किस तरफ है? स्टोरी बुक्स और नॉवेल्स का? ओके सर. इधर से ऊपर है
ये किधर भी बैठी इधर से इधर आओ
कहाँ से
बैग है ना तो वो नंबर बता दीजिए उसको आपको निकाल के लाके दे देंगे
नहीं मैंने कोई स्पेसिफिक बुक नहीं मैं बस वो सेक्शन एक्सप्लोर करना चाह रही हूँ ऊपर है अच्छा
तो जाएंगे
हाँ मैं बस इधर से देख रही हूँ ऊपर तो जाना पॉसिबल नहीं होगा
हाँ नहीं देखिए किताब नहीं
How accessible is the college library for PWD students in the college?
Yeah, the college library is not that accessible, honestly speaking, because see, if there are very limited resources, so there are very limited resources, and these will not cater the needs of the persons with disability. How is it very limited? I would just highlight an example of my own experience. One day, going to the library section, I asked, I had a word with the librarian, what are the resources that are there in the library? They said, we have only few braille printed text format textbooks, and that too was of only specific subject, that is Sanskrit, and it had only just basic stuffs of it and nothing more than that. So now see, honestly speaking, we can't have all the subjects into a braille format because as it requires a large space. But is that an excuse, or can we have do we have other solutions for that? Yes, we have other solutions for that. We can go for having audio transcribed text format. That is possible, because see, ultimately when we talk about having latest publications, the publications that are coming up of specific book in which are published in different volumes, it is not possible to if the book is published today and tomorrow we're going to have into the library. That is not possible. Of course, it's possible in case of having a printed text for as others used to it. But when it comes to the field of persons with disability, especially in case of visually impaired students, we don't get access to the latest publications because the books that are there also maybe 10 to 8 years back, and which might not be that updated one, and hence we are not able to get update ourselves to the latest the books that are mentioned into the syllabus. Now, as I said, we can have it into an audio transcript text format, but the college also must look for the other solutions, like the technology that is coming up in the field of disabilities. The recent technology that has been developed by Delhi IIT, that is called a braille refreshable display, which can capture the needs of visually impaired students. Now see, the speciality of this device is that we can have a visual text format into a braille format. This will help us to have a touch sensitivity of the text. This will boost the remembrance of our the system that we are learning, because simply putting a word into someone's mouth this is a geometrical shape of square, circular, rectangular, and triangular. It's not going to help, simply because if a visually impaired student is pursuing a subject of a science stream, it's not going to still help simply saying not having that kind of resources. The other problem is the Delhi University has token library, but how far is it accessible to the wide section of the PWD sections of the university? The processes are very scattered and complicated, this has to be simplified in a manner that we can reach within a span of time, and it doesn't take 1 month, 1.5 months to get approved. By the time it gets approved, the semester goes into like it's the half semester is gone. So how is it? How to make this more convenient? That has to be concentrated well within a week, or what my experience say.
Three, two, one. Rauf, take one. Action. Sorry, we'll try again. 3, 2, 1. How accessible was the online teaching mode for you as a PWD student in the college?
It was partially accessible. I'd say it was a bit inaccessible. The problem was, see, I was getting whatever was being taught. I was getting that, but then there were a few problems. Like whenever something was being presented on screen, that was not visible to me. So I was not able to get what is there. I mean, being presented and what is being shown to us, and it should not be assumed that. If something is being shown on the screen, that is uh, visible to everyone, so everybody will be able to understand that, everybody will be able to will be getting that. So that is the thing. uh, our professors tried their best to explain, but sometimes it was that I was not able to get that. Sometimes we were asked to, we had to read what was there being presented, what was being shown. Suppose sometimes we had to read the book, some poem, some readings, some poem. So that was the main problem. um, See, let's say I will I if I see the if I see the book in my phone during something is being taught. So you know still it was problematic for me as a visually challenged. It was very challenging to attend a class and use the screen reader, you know and read that thing which was which we were supposed to read. So that was very challenging. Another thing was taking notes. Taking notes was also a very big problem. Um, I tried making notes, but then I stopped making notes because I either had to focus on lectures or I had to focus on, you know, making notes. So these were the problems.
Uh, I think you have highlighted, Rauf, two important points. First is the assumption that we often make, that we assume that everyone can see or hear or can walk, or etc. like that. We we tend to view society or like life in general, I guess, as from an able person point of view. So, like you said, we should not assume that everyone can see. So I thought that was very important. Like we need to be aware that uh, the society that we construct is from an able person point of view also. Like all
Yeah,
the stairs that we constructed are for a person who can walk and stuff like that. So I think we need to be aware of this assumption. And
yeah, exactly. And I'll say that, you know, few of our professors, they tried, even they, you know, for example, one of our professor sent us the script of the movie when there was the movie screening. So they tried their best to find some alternatives, but still these problems were there. You know, one cannot assume that, you know, if something is being shown or that is clear to everybody, that is true.
the second point I feel you have highlighted is that about how the need to make our classroom and classroom activities more inclusive, like in the sense that like when we show pictures, we need to add image description in the form of text, so that
Ah,
you get my point. Like when you said when your professor sent you script also, that was a really good thing, I think. And
exactly. You know, you can do that. One can do that for so to make, you know, the class more inclusive.
true, true. I think those are the two important points that we need to remember. And my second question is like going to studying materials, like what were some of the problems you face during online teaching mode, like in the sense like when your professor or like when reading materials are sent in the class WhatsApp group and all, like what were the obstacles you face in online teaching mode?
Uh, there are some problems like notes are scanned in a way so that a sighted person can easily see those notes and, you know, can uh, note important points. But then for a visually challenged, it's quite, you know, difficult to read these notes because these are not, you know, scanned properly. These are scanned just to, you know, see, and, you know, if somebody will, these are obviously, these notes are visible, whatever is written in these notes, the these these notes are visible, that is visible, whatever is written. But for visually challenged, it is very difficult to, you know, scan these notes through there are some applications which scan the notes, but since these notes are not being scanned properly, so our applications cannot, you know, scan these things. Same as with the online material. So online material is also available there, a lot of online material, but uh, that online material is not accessible for visually challenged. So, you know, it is you know, PDFs are not made properly. They are just made to, you know, uh, the material in those in these PDFs, PDF is of course visible, but not, you know, we cannot read that because since it is not accessible. So for, you know, for math students, it was very problematic because, there are many symbols in maths which our screen reader doesn't read that well. So that was also a very big problem with the online material. Suppose there is like there's a lengthy equation to, you know 2x cube and some kind of equations, 10 to the power 8, so are the symbols used, the signs, the important signs and symbols used in maths, you know it doesn't speak those symbols, and it's quite hard to study through the screen reading software. So these are some challenges we face regarding study material.
Avanish, Raufin made me remember one discussion we had, me and Avanish, my friend, had last time. He was telling me about like before he came to St. Stephen's, he was applying for this exam, CLAT exam, that one. And in that exam, him as a visually challenged person, some of the questions were very ableist or very biased. Like
exactly, these are designed in a way so that an able-bodied person will be able to answer the questions, will be able to understand, but then visually it is not possible for visually challenged to answer such kind of questions. So
Yeah.
so the problem is with the way these questions are being designed.
And the question he was telling me about is very interesting. It was on a statistical graph. He was telling me how it was impossible for a person who cannot see to even comprehend that question itself. So that it reminded me when you were talking about that. Thank you,
Exactly.
Rauf.
Okay, thank you, Danny. It was really nice talking to you.
Recording. Stop.
So Rauf, now we have transitioned from online teaching mode to offline teaching mode, and you have told us some of the problems and obstacles you face during online teaching mode. And my question is, do you still face the same problems after transitioning to offline teaching mode?
Yeah, I do. See, as a visually challenged, there are some problems are still there, but a few are kind of solved. For example, I told you about the presentation thing. So now we are getting what is being presented or what is being shown to us, because our professors are very cooperative and they are explaining us what is being presented. So while it is being presented, they explain us, but then a few problems are still there, and one of the problem is that taking notes, making notes while while we are during the lectures. So the problem is that I often miss many important points because I write in Braille and I'm not used to of it, since I have been using the laptops and all for typing. So I'm not used to of writing in Braille. So I often miss the points. So there is a solution. The administration can either provide us some devices so that we'll be able to record the lectures and then take notes, or these lectures can be recorded and uploaded on Google Drive, so that we'll after finishing the classes we can go and go through those recordings, listen to them, and listen to these recordings and take notes.
And another interesting topic that I would like to ask you is about the college library. So after we have transitioned to the offline teaching mode, the college plays an important role, I feel, for the students in giving the studying materials and reading materials and all. So I want to explore from the perspective of a person with disability, and how accessible is the college library for you, and are you able to procure reading? Are you able to make use of the resources there in the college library?
For disabled, for visual disabled, it is useless. It is meaningless. I'd say. Unfortunately, it is meaningless because the study material is not accessible. It is there. Lots of books are there, but these books are not in Braille. So what is the point visiting that library? So that is the thing. And also I've talked to a few of my other disabled friends, physical disabled friends, and they told me that it is not accessible. The infrastructure is not that accessible. So it should be made accessible so that all the people will be able to use that library, since it is for everyone. So, and they can do one thing. They can arrange some devices which scan the document. Kibo is that kind of device which scans the document, and they can also provide Braille display. They can put their Braille display so that whenever a visually challenged feels like to study, he or she can go there and study and take notes.
And I'm also trying to think from your perspective, because you're a history honor student, right? So
BA program.
Yeah,
I have history.
You have history. And you don't take Sanskrit in your course, no?
No.
So I'm just trying to imagine like how useless, like you said, the college library would be for you, because you are not even a student of Sanskrit course, but all the books there in the college library are only from the Sanskrit discipline. So would it be right to say something like the college library is empty for you, from your perspective, for you?
Yeah. For me, it is meaningless to go there unless there is no device of such kind, and there are no books. They cannot. I can understand. It can be understood that Braille books cannot be printed, in a large number, because these books take so much space. So that is not possible. And the Braille books are not being printed in a large number. Only school books and few other magazines are being printed. So that is that can be understood. And as you were saying that Sanskrit, only few books are there for Sanskrit students. Also there's no, like, it's not that all the books which they are looking for are available there. Only few books are there in Sanskrit. They also have to manage through other sources.
And I hope the college develops those what do you call the jaws? Is it the yebo? You call it yebo, no?
Kibo.
They put those
that
instruments.
That device can be can be put. Braille display can be put.
Clearly can be done through college development fund or etc. like that. So let's hope in the future we will have those instruments, reading instruments in the future.
Then only it will be truly accessible and disabled friendly.
Accessible for all. And my last question, Rauf, is I want to explore more on how you as a PWD student, a person with disability, you participate in society activities and all. So do you face any obstacles in participating in societies, and if so, can you please tell us those?
I am I have joined few societies such as DebSoc, Music Society, Hindi Sahitya Sabha, and a few others as well. A few other societies. So the problem is that the infrastructure thing, they can make it can be made more accessible. Suppose a meeting is taking place in a room which is not accessible. The way to that room is not accessible. So how would a disabled go there without any assistance? So the infrastructure can be made more, can be made disabled friendly, so that a disabled can also participate in the society works. Also, I've seen that people share images in society groups, which is an easy way to share the messages. Some messages there in the image form, but then these graphics are not accessible. Are not always accessible for persons with vision impairment. Our softwares are applications which are especially designed to scan these images and documents. Sometimes these softwares and applications do not read these images, do not scan these images properly, because these images are clicked, these images are taken in a way so that these images are visible to a sighted person, but then a visually challenged person will be facing difficulty to access it.
Certainly, that's a very important point, I feel. Clearly, image description of the photos there could be put.
That can be
That's
also
a very
done.
important part.
That can be also done. They can describe what is there in the image.
Okay, thank you so much, Rahul, for sharing us your experience in the college, both online and offline, and in the societies and all. Thank you so much, Rahul, for giving us.
It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम है नीरू और मैं एक ऐसी जगह पे आज मौजूद हूँ जहाँ लोग आने की सोचते हैं और वर्षों से सपने सजाए रहते हैं। जी हाँ, मैं हूँ सेंट स्टीफेंस कॉलेज में और ऐसा माना जाता है कि यह एक सबसे प्रतिष्ठित कॉलेज है दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय का। तो यहाँ तमाम तरह की फैसिलिटीज़ हमें प्रोवाइड की जाती हैं और वास्तव में देखा जाए तो यहाँ का एजुकेशन, यहाँ का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर काफ़ी मज़बूत है, लेकिन उन मजबूती के साथ साथ कुछ खामियां और कमियां भी हैं जो मैं आज आप सभी के साथ साझा करना चाहूँगा। वो ये कि जैसा कि हम लोग PWD स्टूडेंट हैं, मैं एक विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड स्टूडेंट हूँ, तो मुझे अगर कुछ चीज़ पहचानना है या जानना है तो मुझे किसी से पूछना पड़ता है। तो यही चीज़ अगर मुझे पूछने से जानकारी मिलती है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, मगर क्या हो कि अगर मुझे किसी को पूछने की ज़रूरत ना हो और मुझे जानकारी मिल जाए जो मैं जानना चाहूँ। उदाहरण के तौर पर मैं एक ऐसी जगह खड़ा हूँ जहाँ एक नोटिस बोर्ड लगा हुआ है और इस नोटिस बोर्ड में ये लिखा हुआ है कि द ब्रेल नोटिस बोर्ड, लेकिन मैं देख पाता हूँ जब मैं टच करता हूँ तो यहाँ पे किसी भी तरीके की कोई ब्रेल स्क्रिप्ट मुझे फील नहीं होती है। और जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ अभी कि द ब्रेल नोटिस बोर्ड लिखा हुआ है, वो भी किसी ने मुझे बताया तब मुझे पता चला। इसी के साथ साथ नीचे भी इसके कुछ लिखा हुआ है, जैसा कि मुझे किसी ने बताया कि इसमें लिखा है कि सोशल सर्विस लीग, लेकिन उस चीज़ को मैं फील नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। मुझे ये नहीं पता कि रियली में वो लिखा भी है या नहीं लिखा हुआ है। तो इस तरह की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में कमी के कारण हम सभी को पहचानने या जानने में दिक्कत होती है कि आखिरकार वो चीज़ है क्या जो हमारे सामने नज़र आ रही है। अगर यही चीज़ मुझे ब्रेल में लिखी हुई मिलती और मैं टच करके इसको पढ़ता तो मुझे बिल्कुल भी समझ में आता कि आखिरकार ये क्या लिखा हुआ है। लेकिन इसको जानने के लिए मुझे दूसरों से पूछना पड़ता है कि आखिरकार ये है क्या। तो अगर ब्रेल भी नहीं मिलती है मुझे, तो इसमें अगर कोई एक ऑडियो या टॉकिंग जैसी फैसिलिटीज़ होंगी तो मुझे किसी को पूछने की ज़रूरत नहीं होगी, बल्कि मैं खुद ब खुद आत्मनिर्भर हो करके मैं इस चीज़ को जान पाऊँगा और समझ पाऊँगा। तो ये हम सभी के लिए बहुत ही ज़रूरी है कि इस तरह की इंक्लूसिविटी को लाया जाए और फैसिलिटी को मुहैया कराई जाए, जिससे कि हम भी समाज के साथ साथ एक अच्छे नागरिक के साथ आगे बढ़ सकें। थैंक यू।
Do you think the special seating arrangement reserved for PWD students in the mess hall to be necessary?
मैं सोचता हूँ कि ऐसे ज़रूरी नहीं है। There is no need to make a particular table for PWD student, क्योंकि इससे ये होता है कि भले ही हमें एक अच्छे फैसिलिटी के साथ डिनर, लंच या ब्रेकफास्ट मिलता है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ हमारी इंक्लूसिविटी पे भी क्वेश्चन उठता है कि हम दूसरों के साथ उस तरीके से नहीं मिल पाते जैसा हम चाहते हैं। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, अगर नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स हैं तो नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स के साथ बातचीत करके वो खाना खा सकते हैं, लेकिन हम लोग सिर्फ अपने PWD स्टूडेंट्स के साथ ही बैठ के खाना खा पाते हैं। इससे यह होता है कि जो आसपास की जानकारियां हैं, हमारे आंतरिक मन में जो भावनाएं हैं, उन चीज़ों को हम शेयर नहीं कर पाते। और अगर एक हमारे टेबल में नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स भी बैठ जाता है तो उसको मना कर दिया जाता है कि ये PWD स्टूडेंट के लिए ही रिज़र्व है, जो कि ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। ऐसे होने से हम खुद ही को एक अलग सेपरेट डिसेबिलिटी फील्ड में रखने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इवन ना सिर्फ हमारे मैथ्स में, बल्कि जहां हम रहते हैं, मुख्य वेस्ट ब्लॉक है, उनमें भी एक अलग सेक्शन बनाया गया है, एक अलग सेपरेट रूम दिया गया है PWD स्टूडेंट्स के लिए। लेकिन अगर वहीं एक PWD स्टूडेंट्स के साथ एक नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स को रखा जाए तो ये ज़्यादा बेहतर हो सकता है, जिससे कि वो दूसरे स्टूडेंट्स के कल्चर, ट्रेडिशन को भी जान पाए। जैसे कोई स्टूडेंट्स कश्मीर से है, तो कश्मीर अपने केरला के स्टूडेंट्स के बारे में जानकारी ले सकता है अगर दोनों शेयरिंग में रहते हैं तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो इंक्लूसिविटी अगर लाना है तो दोनों को साथ रहना होगा और कदम से कदम मिलाकर चलना होगा। थैंक यू।
my stuff.
Sorry.